everybody, I'm back again. I want you to just bear with me for like 1 second while the camera's a little shaky because today I'm going to be mostly on my computer because I'm gonna show you my online budget. So yeah, you can see it's a little shaky. Just for like 1 more second, let me move on to my computer. I just wanted to give you a little intro that today we're gonna be working mostly on the computer. Now I'm over on this. I don't know if this is going to work, but we're gonna try. Anyways, so today I wanted to show you my online budget. I made this all by myself and it took many hours, lots of Google searches and everything, but I think everything's working now, lots of trial and error. And I kind of already put stuff into it for you to see, but I thought I'd kind of go through each section because in the future, I have a feeling I'm going to be using this a bit more. I'm thinking of doing videos where I will first write down my budget on paper like I normally do, and then maybe the next one is of me going through my online budget and putting everything in. So I just want to explain it to you all so you are aware in the future if this is what I'm doing. You can kind of, if you're confused, maybe go back to this video and be like, this is how this budget works. And it's kind of fun and I'm proud of it, so I kind of want to show it off. But first of all, let's start in the first page. So first I made a setup page, and in this setup page I have income, expenses, bills, loans, and savings. These are all where my money is going. Yes, I don't know if that was the correct grammar. But yes, so this is where all of my money is going. So I made a different section for each one. This will be important later for like drop down menus and all of that. But yeah, this is pretty much what I spend my money on. As you can see, I think I went through it last time, the paper version. But that is pretty much it. If you have any questions, let me know. Let's first go into, I think I want to show you the transaction. No. I'm going to show you the monthly expense budget first. So over here, we have my monthly expenses. You can see here is where I have my savings and transactions. We'll get into that later. But first, we're going to go over my monthly expense budgets. And let's go with the month of September because it's September. So pretty much what I'm going to do is I'm going to read this left to right. And if it's confusing, again, just leave a comment and I'll try to answer it best as I can. But first, this is where the month is. Over here, you have all these different months. This is probably the hardest part of this whole entire budget that took me the longest. I had to watch like 10 million different videos, watch Google, all of that, but pretty much watch everything here, like the monthly expenses, the bills, loans, everything. Watch this when I hit January. Everything kind of resets, okay? So you can see each month, since I don't have anything else in any of the other months, because I'm just getting back into my online budgeting now, you can see it changes only in the month of September. So each month it's going to change. Since it's in year 2025, I just have year 2025. Over here, then, we have the income. So I split it between paycheck and extra money. Oh, good news, I got a job. So I am going to be paid bi-weekly, which means maybe I'll be able to do these videos maybe like every other week, or maybe I can even do them every week to kind of give an update. But yeah, so I got a job, so my income will be a lot more like regular. So these videos will make a lot more sense when you see like actual money going into it. But yeah, that's some good news. But first, my paycheck, I know I get paid bi-weekly, but I like to see my paycheck all as one, and you'll kind of see that there. This right here is the money I have in my American bank account. Remember, I said I have money in my other account too, but this is just the money in my American bank account. So I kind of put that in as extra money for this month, and that's kind of what I'm going to be using as my paycheck this month. Then over here, we have total expected expenses. I will get into this later, but that right here, this number is all of what I budgeted only in the monthly expenses budget. Okay, this does not include the savings. You'll see that later. I like to keep it separate. So this is my total expected expenses. That is the budgeted. So like say I change this to 20, watch this. It changed, but I'm budgeting 30. So what I did is I had this be 30, and then I add all of these up, including, I believe, these. It's all the budgeted, and that's how much I'm expected to spend. Then I have my actual expenses. This is everything I spent. And I believe this is only on my monthly budgeting tab. I can't remember if it's in my savings. I don't think it is. But yeah, this is just my monthly. So we'll get into this later. So I want these to be equal, if not this be less. I don't want this to go over. Then we have the money that I put into savings this month. This is actually a later step, but you want this number to be the same as this number. So I'll get up into this in a second, but first I want to go over this. So this is the money that I, out of my paycheck, extra money this month, only this month, that went into my savings. Then we have the money currently in my savings. Because this week I have spent a bit of my savings for new clothes and everything, that is why it's a little bit lower than this right now. But what this is all the money that's currently in my savings tab. Everything added up, this is how much is in my savings tab. And then the last one on this little column is my net worth. I know it's not really net worth because I'm not including if I had a house or a car or anything, but this is just my savings, everything in my current savings, as well as my monthly left. So how much I have left in my budget. And that, where is that? Oh, I forgot where I put that. But pretty much what it is, let me just quickly check. Yeah, ready? Watch this. Oh, so many. Yes, okay, I thought so. Let me enter. It's what I spent. So pretty much it's this one. Let me show you actually. It's B29. Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm doing bingo. But yeah, so it's B29, my money currently in my savings. B14, my total expected expenses. I add those together because this is an actual number that I use. And then I subtract pretty much all of my actual expenses. I could do this, but it just made more sense doing it here. So yeah, it's this one, all of G, all of L, all of that. I could do this one, but it just made more sense to do this because it just made more sense to my brain. But next, we're going to move up over to income left to budget. I should have probably said this first, but I just wanted to go in order. So over here is my income left to budget. This is the amount that should go into my savings after everything. So pretty much what it is it's my income, extra money, all of that added together for this month only. My total expected expenses, so my this minus this, so income minus total expected expenses, and that's what I have left to budget into my savings. I get a little confused, and instead of having a calculator, I just put everything on this tab. So as I put stuff into my savings, this number will go down, and I want this to always be 0 after I put everything into my savings, because this is how much I put into my savings this month. So remember, the money I put into savings this month should be equal my income left to budget because I have now put everything into my savings left. Okay? So remember when I said the setup tab is a little important for drop-down menus? That's what this is right here. So I have all of my monthly expenses and oopsies, it matches my monthly expenses over here. Okay? Sorry, I quickly had to figure out why my computer was making that noise. Don't mind it. I think you can hear it, but just in case you do hear it, sorry. But where was I? So yes, so right here, this is when I said the setup is important because all of these I put into my setup over here. And I put my income, expenses, bills, loans, savings, and that's just how I set it up. So like I put food here, cafes, Korean class fund, medical buffer. And like if I had more, I can put more in here because there's so many lines. But I just have these right now, so that's all I have. Then what I do is I put my budget. So this is how much I want to spend on them this month, like maximum. That's how much I'm going to spend on them. And the spent and remaining, that is later. But pretty much this is how much I've currently spent in food, how much I've currently spent in cafes, how much I've currently spent with all of these. And this is the remaining amount. So like I only have $23 left pretty much to use on my food this month. Okay? And these are just like casual expenses. Like every month they could change. Then over here we have my bills. So I have like my rent, phone, Apple Music, my joint account. I explained that in previous videos, but yep. And rent, it's because I'm going to be paying weekly. And I'm only going to be paying about 3 weeks, I believe it's going to even out. But again, the transaction tab will be important for paid because then, for example, if I paid my rent, this should be equal. Because these are typically the same every single month. And I can kind of see if they weren't, just directly here. But once I pay, you're going to see in the loans, oh, I can just click that I'm done. And that's just, I have to click, unclick. I know it's a little annoying, but for me, I don't mind. But see, I can just click and see, okay, I have paid this. So I haven't paid any of this yet. So that's why they're unclicked. I have my due date over here. They're a little unorganized because I found out about this later. So yeah, it's kind of like all around. Then over here, if you move to my loans, this is my loans. Yes, I have a lot of loans. I'm not including like interest at the moment because I don't want to deal with that. That's just going to be leftover money. This is how much like my actual amount right now, my principal amount. But what it is it's my student loan. I only have one loan at the moment. I budgeted $150 to pay for it. And I've already paid it because I'm not necessarily needing to pay it back now. I don't know why it's still saying 0. I think next month it's going to be like required to pay. But I'm still paying just to get interest down, all of that. So I've already paid $150. I decided to pay it on September 1st and I finished it. But if I hadn't finished it, I could unclick that. And this is like when I started this, I have my starting amount. Used to be, I think when I graduated college, gosh, it was almost like 40,000, but I've just been able to pay it down throughout the years. And I've gotten it down to this amount, 24,000. Yeah. Wow. But anyways, and then this is the remaining amount after I've paid this 150. Remember, it's not including my interest at the moment. But yeah, that's pretty much my monthly savings tab. This is the one I practically live in because it's the one updating the most. So pretty much every time I use my transactions tab, I'll go and check and make sure everything looks okay over here. And again, like I said, next month, I'll just change this to October. And you'll be able to see, like, because I'm sure I'm going to show you in a video, you'll be able to see in October, like, everything resets. But then when I go back to September, I'll be able to look at what I spent in September, which I love because I need to, like, look back sometimes and kind of figure out everything. And I like to see my growth. Yeah. Before we move on to the transactions tab, I'm going to show you my savings tab. So this is the savings. So again, drop down menus. These are all of my savings. The only thing I don't like about this is I can't like oh my gosh, I can't speak. I can't put it in alphabetical order. And that's the only thing. I think I'd have to manually do that. Unless someone knows a better way, please let me know. But this is all of what I want to save for. This probably took me so long because it's like copy, paste. But I kind of already put money into my savings. So remember when I said over here, income left to budget and income left to budget. This money should go into savings. You can see I've already put it into my savings. So that's the money you see currently in my savings. I have more, but it's all in my Korean account and I'm not including that right now. But yeah, anyways, this is kind of how my savings is set up. I'm going to explain it because it might be a little confusing to some, but to me, it's kind of like how I want it to work. Everyone's different. This is just how I like it. So I have my savings, like this is just general what I want to save for. I think maybe I'm gonna buy a car soon, so that's what my savings is gonna be. So I put 20,000. I don't have a deadline for this. I don't really know how to do that in here, but also for me, having like a yearly deadline for me is good because then I can see how much progress I made towards that goal in 1 year. This will not reset every month. Again, it just continues every month, and that's why it doesn't have like September, October, November, December, all of that. As you can see, I have not saved. I don't know why it's doing that. Let me click that. Okay. I don't know why it keeps showing the keyboard language, but anyways, I just put it like beginning of 2027 because we are in 2026. No, we're not in 2026. We're in 2025. Because for savings, it's a lot longer, so I put it for 2027. Maybe I could have put it 2026. I know I was just explaining that and confused that that's for later, but savings is a lot bigger, so that's why I put it as 2027 because it's so far in the future. This is how much I've saved towards, oh, that's a big number. This is how much I've saved towards the goal, so you can see $0 I've saved. This is just how many months left I have until this specific deadline, even though it's not a deadline. And if I was trying to hit that deadline, how much I'd have to put into my savings each month. Again, doesn't matter for this one. I don't know if I'll change this later to kind of have no deadline, but for me, right now, I kind of like it. I don't feel pressure to save this every month because I know savings has no deadline versus like other ones. 0% completed, so 0% and 100% remaining. And then I have my little, what is this called? The pie chart? Yeah, but it's like the donut pie chart. So you can see I have 0% saved. I've spent 0 of this and I currently have physically have $0 towards that. But yeah, that's pretty much my savings one. I can quickly go through each one so you can kind of see, because I have put money into some of them so you can kind of see. Again, emergency, no deadline, but I thought $10,000 is a good amount to have. Again, these are unrealistic amounts at the moment, but it was kind of fun. For me, I don't really care how much I have. So maybe like if I wanted to, I could put this lower and once I get it to 100, increase it. That's something I've thought about doing. This was just me setting it up. Probably later I will do that. But for now, it's just this. So here you can see I have my money saved towards my goal. I've only put $10 in my emergency, but you can kind of see now, oh, I don't like that number, but how much per month I need to save towards it. I have about 99% left. I've only completed 10%. And I currently have $10 in my emergency. Same with trips. I've put $7 in. This was just little money that I put in just so I can start something. I'm doing this one reset every year. So you can see this one's a little bit smaller and bigger amounts per month. Same. Gifts. So gifts, again, doesn't really have a deadline for me. Haven't put anything in. Christmas, on the other hand, I have a deadline for. So I put it as Christmas this year. I want to save about $1,000. I don't have many people I need to buy Christmas gifts for at the moment. But yeah, so I've already put $20 in. I have 3 more months, which means each month I need to put about $326 into my Christmas fund in order to have that by Christmas. If I don't, no biggie. I'll just buy a little bit cheaper of gifts or less gifts, but that's okay. That's okay. I've completed 2%, so you can see it's a little bit bigger, this green part, and I have 98% left, and I haven't spent any of it, so it's still 20%. Now, though, if we go down, I've been thinking about like changing colors of certain things, so maybe this will change next time. Same birthdays. Nobody left in 2025 have birthdays, so I just set it for next year, so I don't really need to save for this right now. But January 1st, 2026, this will change because it's a whole new year. Clothing, no deadline, so I just set it for this year. So you're going to see this. For me, I want like a continuous until I hit a certain amount, if that makes sense. So like, for example, birthdays. I'm putting aside $1,000 for the year. Throughout this year, I'm going to be buying money. I'm not going to be buying money. Throughout this year, there we go. Throughout this year, I'm going to be buying gifts for people, which then will decrease the amount I currently have, which means I'm further away from my $1,000 goal. But I know this year I want to spend $1,000. So how do I explain this? I know just in 1 year I want to spend $1,000. But if this keeps decreasing and gets further away from 1,000, I'm going to think I have to like save more. But that's not in reality. So what I have here is how much I have towards my goal. This is going to be only towards my goal, not including what I've spent. And you'll see it more like when like maybe Christmas comes along. Let me go up to Christmas actually. So let's say I find a really nice gift that's $10. I will then spend $10 on it, which means I'll only have $10 left. However, I'm still $20 saved towards my goal because I'm trying to save towards $1,000 until Christmas. And I don't know if this makes sense. Please let me know if it doesn't. Maybe later on, the more I put into my savings, you'll be able to see. But for now, that's kind of what I'm explaining. So you'll see here kind of like this. Actually, clothing is a good example. I wanted to save $1,000 for this whole year, the rest of this year. Yes, the rest of this year. I've only saved $100 towards it. So I put $100 towards my clothing and I have technically completed 10% of my goal. However, I have already spent $71 of this $100, which means in reality, I only have $28 left. But because I'm working towards a goal, like until this end of the year, and I don't want to go over this goal, I am keeping it as I've saved $100. Just I have to remember I physically only have 28, but you can see I'm almost to my goal. Maybe it doesn't make sense to you. To me, it does. And it works for me saving wise. And I end up saving more this method, in my opinion. Because I can better factor in what I need to save for if I have a specific goal I'm saving towards and the amount's not getting bigger, if that makes sense. Self-care, haven't saved anything. Medical savings, haven't saved anything. Our future, I put $10. Again, not going to ever really not going to really ever spend this. So this one's not a big end of the year. I just put this because I'm hoping by this date we can move in with each other again. It's a whole thing because I moved back to America and we're back to long distance right now. So we used to live together when I was in Korea, but now we're back to long distance because of other factors too, not just me moving back to America. We were going to be long distance no matter what. Even if I was in Korea, we were going to be long distance. But because I'm in America, we're still long distance. It doesn't really matter where I am in this world. We're still going to be long distance. But this is buying a real house, maybe, hopefully. And so I'm hoping by this we can do that. So that's why I put 10,000. Again, could change. It's just a general, put it in for now. Same with the wedding. I'm hoping we could get married around that time. Who knows? But I haven't saved anything towards it. This one does have a deadline. I'm hoping to have that much saved. Actually, this might change this date. It might be pushed further back. So actually, I can show you. So let's say it actually gets moved back to, I don't know if it's going to change anything, but I'm just going to say April 1st. Did it change anything? I don't know. When watching this back, you can see if it changed. But yeah, so it might give me a little bit more wiggle room amount per month, and just how much I have completed towards that. My advance rent, saved nothing towards this. Joint account. I also have one here because I just want to save, this one's going to confuse me, I think, because I have to pay a certain amount into an account each month for our joint account, but I wanted to kind of keep how much we have, but because that's all sitting in my current account, that's kind of what I have. So I'm not losing money. I'm putting it into a separate account. So that's why I have it here, because it's still counted towards my amount that I have. But this might change. I might take this one out because it's going to be in a different account and that's going to have its own budget later. But for now, I'm just keeping it here. It makes sense to me. Loans, I have a monthly payment, but I kind of want to, it's kind of like advanced loans. I just put it as loans because anytime I need to take money from this, I'll be able to do that. This one, I'm not going to use as my monthly budget. This is just going to continuously gain money. So maybe in 5 months, I've saved $2,000 here. I can just make a big payment of $2,000 or something like that. But I just put it as 30,000 because that's how much I need still technically, I feel like. But that should be it. Yeah. Then the last tab is the transactions tab. I don't know why the thing keeps changing. Okay, I don't know if that's gonna help. But over here, you can see this is my transactions tab. This is when I put everything into my account just so I could have everything set. So I put my savings in first. It should not go this way. Normally, like my paycheck will be up here, but I knew what I wanted to put in and where I wanted to put it in because I wrote it all down first. So over here is just like the date that I did it. So this will factor in. So like if I put it into October or say August, this is not going to show under the September monthly recap. It's only going to show the ones that are labeled as September. Same here. So this is like everything. I couldn't group it, so I just put it in colors. So the green is like income, red is expenses, orange are bills, yellow is loans, and purple is savings. Then over here, we have the amount that I have like spent or saved. I don't really have a plus or negative because it all does it in the monthly and savings. So I just put how much it is. And then over here, this is like what category it's going into. Like this is the more specific category. Like in my expenses, it was the cafe. Or in my expenses, it was the food. However, I also have a savings add and a savings spent. Because remember I said sometimes I'll spend my savings. I want to also factor that in. So if I hit savings spent, you can see over here, I spent $71 on clothing. So that will go over into my savings account over here. And you'll see I spent oh, nope, you don't want to see that. There we go. I spent $71 already, if that makes sense. Same. So yeah, you can see most or everything else. And then this is just kind of a note for me. So I know, like if I go, why did I spend like, I don't know, $1.99 on food on like September 2nd? I cannot remember. And I don't have like, I don't want to go into my bank account or like my bank account, like, you know how sometimes in your bank account, the writing is so odd. Yeah. Like that reason. That would be like where I put it here. So I know like, oh, I got lunch at the market or something like that. Or I spent money on Costco. So stuff like that. But that's pretty much it. I know it probably seems like a lot to many people and it's probably really confusing. To me, though, it makes so much sense and I love this budget so much. And I already know moving forward, it's going to hopefully be really nice. It's probably one of the best budgets I've ever made. And yeah, that's pretty much all for this video. I know it's a little bit different of a format. I hope you like it. But yeah, I'll see you in the next video, hopefully for my next paycheck. Yeah. Anyways, I hope you have a great day or night or wherever you are. Anyways, bye.